the intervals between successive signals from the astronaut, getting longer and longer as 11 o'clock approached. However, the effect would be very small before 10:59:59. They would have to wait only very slightly more than a second.
I wanted to, I was listening to Stephen Hawking, Cambridge series. It's really nice, actually. I may upload it. I should. I don't know how they feel about that. But, well, he talks about Einstein a lot. One story from my life, I didn't want to get lost forever. Although technically there really is and is not a forever. Thermodynamics says that we will all exist again. It'll take, I think it's 14 billion years, the age of the universe, but we will all exist again exactly as we are. And that's probably a repetitive task. But anyway, the story is, so I had to have surgery in Los Angeles. And the night before it was hernia surgery, I was lifting a big 500-pound television myself up a flight of stairs when I was younger, and rolling it up, one deal at a time. Anyway, hurt myself and had to have hernia surgery. So the doctor, the night before the surgery, I was at downtown rehearsal, where I had a studio for a long time, and looks like that's going to take a minute there. And anyway, I got a call down there at like 10:30 at night, and it was that may fall there. He said, "Hello, Eric. This is Dr. Einstein," and Dr. Einstein. I'd never heard that name before. Red hot coal somewhere around here on the floor. Even I'll wait for the smoke. Tell you the truth, I'm barefoot. So I thought, well, I've never heard that name before, So the next day I went in at like sunup to the surgery center, and he was the anesthesiologist on the phone, and he said, "Dr. Einstein, don't eat or drink anything after midnight," and blah, 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 the whole deal. And I thought, okay, cool. So I didn't, but I went in like sunup, and this guy who looked like Einstein came in, and his last name was Einstein. I mean, it was Einstein. So I was like, he said, "I'm Dr. Einstein, I'm the anesthesiologist," and so on, and then he left the room, and I was in there, and they put me on an IV, and so then Dr. Cole, the guy who was going to do the surgery, came in, and I said, "Yeah, how about that Dr. Einstein, man? I bet he got a lot of, guff from his friends growing up in class and stuff, like, way to go, Einstein." And Dr. Cole goes, he looks around, he goes, "Shh, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet." He goes, he goes, "Dr. Einstein," he pronounced it Einstein, it's actually Dr. Einstein, is really, for true, real, an illegitimate son of Albert Einstein. And the guy was a spitting image with the gray hair. The whole thing, like hair fluffed out, kind of, it was, I mean, he was a spitting image of Albert Einstein. But Dr. Cole said, yes, he has received so much, just flack in his life from this deal. Every way to go, Einstein, I imagine him in school. But he said, don't, man, he's really sensitive about it. Don't say anything about it, And so I didn't, but I was anesthetized by the illegitimate son of Albert Einstein once in a surgery. And then during the surgery, they had to wake me up because he wanted me to exert pressure. Dr. Cole, who was a gifted surgeon, he wanted me to, woke me up. Dr. Einstein let up on the anesthetic and woke me up, and then he said, "Push down, and see how far it would swell out," so he'd know just how much to stitch. And anyway, I had been intensely studying Russian, and my mind was so messed up. He woke me up. He said, "Now push down," and I could see Dr. Einstein out of the corner of my eye, you know. And I had been intensely studying Russian from CDs and tapes, and I had a Russian wife, and I never really mastered the language much, but I still know quite a bit when it comes back to me, but not great, not like Chinese or Spanish, you know. But anyway, Dr. Einstein said something to me, and I could only speak in like broken Russian, and it was funny because he replied in perfect Russian, and he said, "I'm going to put you back to sleep now, shut up." And then I just remember, you know, "I'm going to put you back to sleep now, shut up." But I guess in 14 billion years we will all have to reassemble and go through that all over again. But I've tried to tell that story a few times, and I don't think there's actually a Dr. Einstein who is an anesthesiologist in Los Angeles who is Albert Einstein's illegitimate son. One of them, I guess. He was quite a lover, but I've tried to relate that story to a few people around me, and I don't think they either understand this, like how big that is, or like, you know, how cool that is as a student of physics to one of the most famous people. Jesus and Einstein are the two, most famous people ever, really, and they even have his son put you to sleep. But yeah, it's one of those things people don't believe. But yeah, Dr. Einstein, anesthesiologist, Los Angeles. So anyway, I thought that was an amusing anecdote. I guess we'll have to gather at some point together. Now, in thermodynamics, so only on a macro scale, our molecular structure will match in 14 billion years. I think it's 14 billion. I could be wrong there. Haven't got up out of bed to have a smoke, a cup of tea, some sunflower seeds, but in thermodynamics and random chance, probability, statistical numbers in thermodynamics, it's only the macro. So there will be beings that appear like us in every way, us, in effect, us, exactly, again, at some point in the future. However, on the atomic level, the subatomic level, there will be some differences, but for the most part, it'll be us. So, rest up.